So there you go. That's Matthew Hicks's combine, that is. Very nice. Just have a little bit of a look round it. So I'll just go close into the engine. So he's done quite a lot to the engine. He's had the engine off of it, and he's had changed the rocker cover gasket, and he has changed a couple of the water pipes, fitted new hoses. So he's done quite a comprehensive rebuild of this combine, keeping it original. Yeah, he's done a really good job with it. So we'll just have a look. I'll just come up close to it and we'll have a look round it, and I'll show you a couple of the things that he's done to it. Which is, well, say a couple of things, a lot of things, you know. I'd certainly be very happy with it. You know, he's done. I'd always like to do a lot of work to my combines, but he's really gone to town with it, you know. And it's just a nice machine. And actually, just to make mention, the combine is a 4-speed, obviously square back. So this is a Super A 1965, and it's almost identical to my humpback. So the only difference between this and my humpback A is the shape of the back, really, and I think the engine as well, because the engine's a 305 on this. But that's it. Everything else is the same. Whereas the later versions of this combine were manufactured slightly differently, and like I've made mention of it before, that they were this beater here is driven from here on the later versions, and the later versions, what's the other difference? There is another difference, and I'm trying to think what it is now. Yeah, so the actual gearbox, the way it drives. So the later versions, I'm trying to think now where am I? I think the later ones of these, it's actually the raddle is driven from the other side, from the walkers on the other side, and it misses it out on the later version. So I was wrong. So what I told you a minute ago is wrong. It's not the beater that's driven from this side on the later ones. It's that this is driven from the other side on the later ones. Just a bit of random information, but that's the only difference. And this, so I actually prefer these ones. These are what the A was up until this point, was always a 4-speed box, and the C always had a 3-speed box, but they changed the A to a 3-speed box. Now I quite like the 4-speed box because you've got a lower range, lower speed. Whereas these, you know, you got quite a thick crop, and you got quite a high ground speed, and especially with a 10-foot header, you kind of sometimes wanting it to hold back a little bit, because you got, I don't know, there's just a lot of feed going for it. You know, the C can handle it. You can get on with the C, but these have got quite a narrow throat on them. Just to walk around to show you some of the stuff that he's done. He's had these modifications done. This is actually quite tight. He's not completely happy with this, but he's had these rubber bushes put in, and these are actually almost identical to the original Gleaner types. He's got a little bit of a leak on the steering box, but that's nothing unusual for these. He's just recently had these rams rebuilt, both sides, and he's had fresh wood bolted on there onto the raddle. Basically every bearing on the machine's been done, and you could do new tyres. There's always something that needs doing, but if you look through, you can see like new bearings, and he's put a new bottom in the tank, and obviously painted it, and painted certain bits and pieces, all new chains, and he's even put a spring in here to hold this open, because if you folded that, it'd just fold in half. Bit of welding there. But one interesting thing that he's done for this machine is he's fitted new pressure gauge and a new temperature gauge. Now that is the same as what the original, that's not an electric temperature gauge. That is actually an original style temperature gauge, but that I was actually looking for my C. I couldn't find one, so I ended up going electric. Just because we needed to sort of get on with what we were doing. It's a good thing we fitted a temperature gauge as well, because the C likes to get hot, which is a job I've got to do. He's had the rad record completely redone, which is an expensive job, that. But as you can see, he's spent time doing all the wiring. Start again. He's spent a bit of time doing all the wiring. Just pressed the wrong button, you see, and I stopped the last video, but there you go. And you know, we brought it all through nice. I mean, to be honest, there's just so much stuff that he's done to this. It kind of starts to make me feel a little bit embarrassed about mine, because of the way, you know, not really embarrassed, but it's amazing to see what can, and to keep a combine original but good. And these A's are just brilliant, perfectly. Look, he's redone the blocks. His dad's they polished all the inside. Look at that, look. Look at that, nice. He had a fresh slide made. Steel sheets put on the fans. Just really nice. Yeah, these A's are just brilliant, aren't they? You know, it's a constant debate of mine in some respects about which ones are better, the A or the C, and they both have their benefits. But I do like an A because it's the size of them, they're compact. And I think it's just nice to have a machine that is that compact. Interestingly, actually, I went to visit some people earlier. They're Clark brothers, and they got some nice machinery, but they offered me well, it was just a bit of a laugh really, but there was a Europa bagger, same colour as the one I had a couple of years ago, but a bagger one, and yeah, potential project for one day, but I'm not, you know, I'm definitely not sure at the minute. I'll tell you what he's done actually, look, he's reshafted this, so it's, he's gonna, oh, I'm not showing you properly, so he's had a new shaft welded on it, put a PTO shaft on there. He's gonna get it all set up right and cut it off. He's had a new bit of metal on there. He's really gone to town on it. I'm very impressed with it. I've been watching him on the Gleaner Facebook group, watching his progress, and I keep saying to him, like, Matt's added so much to the group, really, because there's so much little bits of information that he's found out that I've never really sort of dug out. So if anybody ever wants to know how to do work on one of these and get them into a nice condition, then follow through what he's been doing on the group over the last couple of years, because he's updated the posts, and you'll see what's what. So, yeah. So, here's the header. So, nice tidy header, 10 foot. It's got a new bed in it, turn the light off. Got a new bed in it, new wood. Always a big job doing all that, drilling those holes and everything like that. But, oh, cushy, you know, that's gonna be a good header. Little headers like this, you know, there's never really much wrong with them, and you don't get that much going through them, you see. Obviously my A's are both 8 foot, but I think he's put new bearings, and actually he's put those guides in there for the tines, which are just sort of like straightforward, sort of like rubber wear guides, not rubber, sorry, like nylon, they'd be, yeah, nylon wear guides, but he prefers those ones. So it'd be worth thinking about, possibly if you're doing a Gleaner, to replace the tine guides with nylons like that. And obviously if you need to get hold of if you ever wanted to speak to Matt, I could sort of, you know, put you in contact with him. I'm sure he wouldn't mind speaking to people and helping them out, sharing a bit of information. So that's about it, really. Next year, this should be working. He was hoping to get it working this time this year, but next year it will be now. Obviously, with harvest over now anyway, so he just didn't quite have enough done, and he didn't want to rush it. But there you go. Lovely baler as well. The massive tractor they'd done up a little while back. They got an older John Deere baler as well. Enjoy yourself, and I'll upload another video, hopefully in the next week. So a little bit of a surprise for you. Right, I'll see you later.